Welcome to Weekly Recharge, your weekly injection of pure video game goodness. I'm your co-host, Devin Moon, and with me, as always, making all of this happen, Trevor Payne. Trev, how you doing, man?
Dude, so good. I would say I'm recharged.
Yes, refreshed, even?
Refreshed for another week. Another week of gaming, Dev.
Another week of gaming has passed by like the seasons as they come and go. Namaste. This week, we will be talking about Phil Spencer's comments of peacetime during the console wars. And is PlayStation Game Pass on its way? And how will it compete with Xbox's version? All this and more. Let's get into it. The weekly topic. In an interview with Verge, Xbox lead Phil Spencer said tribalism is the worst thing in the video game industry and may be the only thing that would drive him from Xbox. Trev, tribalism, the console wars, all this mumbo jumbo. Is this the worst thing in video game industry today? Is this the worst thing you can think of in the video game industry today?
The worst? I don't know if I could say worse. It sucks, man. Like, it's annoying to go to the store and when you ask for a certain copy of a video game, which, first of all, I haven't done this in a long time because I do mainly digital for this reason alone. Go into GameStop to purchase a game and say, hey, I want it on my Xbox. And they're like, you play on Xbox? And all of a sudden, like, give me a bunch of crap. And I'm like, I own a PlayStation as well, bro. Back the freak off. You know what? That's the thing, Dev. You know, you and I, we run a Nintendo podcast that's very specific to Nintendo. You and I have played games on all different platforms. We do play on all different platforms. It really does drive me nuts. The way that people get so like backed behind it, like it's some kind of religion, right? And it's like this, all of a sudden it turns into like, it's this or nothing. And that kind of stuff just drives me nuts. Cause I'm like, bro, it's just video games, right? Like just play where you want to play.
Yeah. It is really weird. And it definitely was a thing like, I wonder if it's like an age thing too. It's like when you're younger, and even when I was in my teens, I was like more like, you know, this is the console guys. You know, listen, we were born in the Nintendo Sega era. This was a time where you fought to the death, baby. You were saying some real shiz, and you got Crash Bandicoot out there yelling at Nintendo saying you suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Exactly, Trev. These were the days that we were rose up in. We were raised in that era. And you know, so for me, like when I was a kid, yeah, dude, I was like a Sega boy. Was I wrong? Yeah, it's okay. Listen, I know where I was wrong.
You know, it's one of
looked cool.
Yeah. I like to joke about it. Like I like to like joke and jab a little bit here and there when it comes to like certain platforms or like a known issue about something and joke around about it a little bit, you know? But the big thing is like, let's just all like, I want one of those coexist stickers, but it's just all the gaming platform logos. Hey, we can even throw Stadia in there.
Trev, what you're doing now is too perfect that we could make money from that.
We could.
So please, if we could delete this,
I'm gonna pull it down.
Right.
Just coexist. I honestly, it's probably already out there, Dev. But I just feel like, you know what? I really think this quote tribalism. Because I listened to this interview on the Verge's podcast feed. And it was really cool. First of all, I gotta give Phil Spencer some props, man. That guy he knows how to like talk and lead a company, and like whether it's corporate bullcrap that he's throwing and slinging, he does it in such a great way that I'm like, I love this man. Like I have like a crush on him because he I don't know. I just feel like he is like he actually plays games. He really knows what people are wanting when it comes to these gaming consoles and things like that. I think it's pretty cool, but I think that, I don't know, Xbox is crappier than PlayStation or vice versa. I just think it's not worth our time. We got bigger problems.
Now, Trev, let's throw a wrench. Can I throw a wrench into this little?
You wouldn't be you if you didn't.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Let me coexist. And let's just cut this bad boy. Let's break this up. Let's separate these religions. I'm ready. Are you? Now, what if we did coexist?
Okay.
Capitalism, Trev. Let me tell you about a thing about capitalism. I know all about it. no, just why I feel like if we played too nice, like what's the incentive? Like what's the incentive? Who are we competing with?
Okay.
Competition.
All right.
Competition is what makes greatness. Without competition, no greatness. So Xbox wouldn't be doing better now if they didn't lose to PlayStation at some point, right? PlayStation, by all accounts, I gotta say it, by all accounts, was the better system.
Oh yeah, totally.
Generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And listen, Xbox fans, hold out. Listen, I know I'm starting console war stuff. 360, in my opinion, better than the PlayStation 3, right? So we can all coexist there. But here's the thing: is without this kind of back and forth, without this like a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of like, hey, we're better than you. Would we have growth? Would we have some kind of improvement?
We would, Devin. So? And I think because we're talking about two different things here. So we're talking about like that weird fanboy tribalism where people are hating on other people for playing games on a certain platform. That's not like the competition between Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, whatever, that can happen by like, hey, what services do you provide? What games do you have on your platform? What, and those are just identifiers like, hey, you can only play it here, so come hang out with us, and that's gonna push growth. But this weird like fanboyism about like, hey, because I found out that you play on this system, you suck, I hate you, and like it just this vitriol, man, that happens on the internet, I think is awful, and I don't think that pushes the industry forward as far as like getting new stuff and new things. I think people with their money make a difference by, hey, I'm gonna really back Sony because I believe in what they're doing with video games, or Microsoft or whatever. But I think I think you're still gonna have that capitalism, that growth, that pushing each other with like the services. Like we're gonna talk here in a little bit about Game Pass, and Xbox has been doing such a great job with that Game Pass. Like, and there doesn't have to be any weird fanboyism behind that for that to exist.
Yeah, that's true. But it is because it does exist, because there are console exclusives. I think that's why fanboyism a lot of the time grows out of it. And it also gives you, everyone wants to be like, look at their purchase and be like, I made the right purchase. And the thing with games especially, and this might be why we have such like these wars and haven't had them for so long. Man, it feels like forever. It's like Afghanistan over here. No, that was a bad joke. Now, but like I think why we have that is because our hobby is so much money, right? It's just a lot of money. It's a lot of money to buy these $500 things. No one cares about this for movies. No one's like, well, I guess they are in some way. Sorry, Star Wars and Star Trek, right?
Back off, dude. Marvel, DC.
Exactly, Marvel, DC. We all know Marvel's better. We all know Star Trek's better, at least at the moment, except for Mandalorian. We get it. So, yeah, like I understand. Like I understand where it comes from. I get like especially as a younger person, you're like, yeah, dude, I purchased this. I feel good about this purchase. It feels right to me, because I spent $500 to get this stupid thing, plus the controllers, plus all this.
Yeah, but why do you have to justify it? Like, I get it. Like, and I've done that. Like, where I try to justify my reason for like, why did I buy this stupid thing? But that doesn't mean I need to belittle and put other people down to make myself feel better.
No, yes, you do.
I've been doing it wrong. Oh, you're so right, Devin. Shoot.
Is your mind clear now? Do you see now?
What?
No, kidding. You're right. Take it back. I agree. With that point, you're totally right. There should not be any belittling of people's other purchases. There's no reason to be like, I feel better because I made a purchase and you suck because you made a bad purchase.
That's what happens. That's what he's talking about here. Is that kind of stuff?
That's true. That's a good point. I was just, I just wanted to throw a couple wrenches.
I'm glad you do, because it would just be you and I coexisting way too much. We gotta play devil's advocate. I like it. I support it.
Just for a moment there, I was a fanboy. Just for a moment there, I felt like tribalism was right.
I was starting to.
It's a human thing.
Gonna pick out my Xbox tattoo and put on my bald skull. Oh, looks like we lost Debbie. It's thinking.
It's human, Trev.
Aha, there you are.
Oh,
You're back.
Am I there? Okay.
Yep,
I don't
there we
see
go.
you though, but I'm here.
Yep.
I'm here somewhere.
We're still
Oof,
live.
My internet looking bad over here. Those bars are not good. The bars are not good on the internet. Okay, let's hurry up and end this, huh? Weekly fan question. Let's do this bad boy. Ryan asks, it looks like PlayStation's hard at work looking to create their own Game Pass type service. Are you okay with everything?
I'm not okay.
Trev, are we okay? Because I don't know if I'm alive on this service.
Yeah,
no,
we're good. We're good.
Okay. With everything... Okay, sorry. Let's reread this. Riot asks, it looks like PlayStation is hard at work looking to create their own Game Pass type service. Would you be okay with everything becoming a service? And can PlayStation compete with Xbox in this way? First off, everything becoming a service. This is happening a lot, especially in the movie industry. You got your Peacock now. You got your WBs. You got your HBO Maxes. Everyone has a service. We've become cable has become, little tiny $10 purchases all over the place.
So
we can all forget. So we can forget them, and then we get screwed later. Yeah, every time, every time. Just not enough money in my bank account on people. So the problem there. Do you like the service situation? Are you fine with games going this way? Would you be fine with EA, Ubisoft, everyone just separating into services and that's it? Everyone was a different service. We all broke up.
You know what? So I don't mind services. I do mind too many services. And that's what I've learned with all, like you said, the media stuff, having I think we have 6 different subscriptions right now, and I'm like, dude, we're paying cable again. We're back to the stupid, and so we've had to really cut and be like, okay, what do we want to watch this month? And then we play it more of a month to month type of thing, where we're like, hey, we definitely got to keep Netflix, and then we will keep. I really want to watch the new Star Trek, so we'll do CBS, whatever, and then when I'm done with that, we'll cut that one and be like, all right, what's the next one? Okay, Disney Plus, because we're gonna binge Star Wars. And so it's stupid. I don't like it. But when it comes to games, one thing is games are expensive. Games are stupidly expensive. They suck. You and I have been doing this for a long time. We've been playing $60, now $70 for a lot of games is very costly.
Yeah.
And if I could play a subscription and get Sony's exclusive titles, I would be so stoked about that because, first of all, yes, they could totally compete because they have the stable of games that Microsoft doesn't have right now. I think down the road, Microsoft will, but they have a stable of games that they could be like, boom, here's all our first-party stuff. And just that alone would be like, holy cow, that would be awesome. So I think they could compete. Now, what would happen if this ever became true, Dev? I would subscribe to one at a time. I would be like, okay, what games do I want to play? Okay, I'm going to play the new Halo game. All right, let's do Game Pass. Then I beat that, and then I will sign up for the PlayStation one and play whatever's over there. So I think that's the route I would take. I just don't think I would want to have lots of different subscriptions going on at a time because you know what? When you have so many subscriptions and you're only watching or playing one thing at a time, you're just wasting a lot of money.
Yep. That's the truth, man. The thing with the Xbox, it's awesome. There's a lot of stuff in there that's awesome, but right now there's a lot of old games. If you haven't played them, that's great. But there's just a lot of old games, and to be honest, I'm not going to play old games. Not really. I mean, I might play a couple of rounds of Halo on occasion, but overall, my mind might be like, yeah, someday I'm going to get to this. But that's how they trick you. That's how that's how Nintendo's got me for all my life. Not this time.
Oh man.
So I it's weird though. It's weird because I was thinking about it. I was thinking, I would expect because Ubisoft has done their split and EA has done their version of it. Mm-hmm. But the weird thing is EA, instead of gaining, being hey, let's really build up this service, they're now no, let's go to Microsoft's service, which is reverse of anything that's going on in the movies right now. Movies are okay, We have Netflix. Netflix lost all of these like programs. They've lost tons of people. Like they lost CBS, they lost WB, they lost all of that kind of stuff because of these other services.
Yeah.
So Netflix, like, you know what? We have to make the content now. And so they do. And so everything now is Netflix, a lot of it at least is Netflix content.
Right.
And they're lucky to get a few games. So I'm surprised that EA wasn't like, let's really build up an EA kind of mountain here of games. But again, this is the EA who puts out what, 4 games, and they're always the same. You got your one Star Wars game and your sports games, and then, well, that's it. Well, EA, it's great. Activision, same, would be in the same boat where you would think, hey, okay, why not build this? Why not? You have lots of money. Why don't you make something out of this? It's weird. It's weird that we haven't hit that for games yet, and I worry about that future. That's the future that I'm like, oh man, I need this. It's no longer on Game Pass anymore. All the good games left Game Pass, and now they're only Microsoft games.
Right.
And all of them are now only PlayStation games. And that would be my worry.
Unfortunately, I think that we will go that direction, though, Dev. I think that's unfortunately the inevitable future. I think that the fact that Microsoft has a really good head start when it comes to game streaming and things like that, and also, I feel like they have a really good foundation that a lot of these companies maybe don't want to put the effort into building right now. But I think down the road they will, and I think Microsoft sees that. That's why they're buying so many studios, because eventually they're going to have to be like, okay, we got to present our stuff, and because everybody left and they're doing their own thing. So I don't know. I think that is the future, unfortunately, because these companies, of course, are going to want to get the biggest cut of money that they possibly can. I think at the start, just like Netflix, there's Disney came to Netflix, all Disney, Marvel, Star Wars,
all the time.
All that stuff came to Netflix. But as tech progressed and it became easier to stream, then they're like, hey, we can go do it ourselves now. And I think that's going to be the same for these game consoles. I think right now, because we play mainly on hardware, of course they are going to have to partner with some kind of big company to kind of get started. But as game streaming really takes off, I really think, you look at Amazon Fire, or what was it, Luna or whatever it is. It's like the Stadia equivalent. They already have a Ubisoft channel, and you pay for just the Ubisoft games, and I think we're going to see a lot of that down the road. Maybe not right now, but for sure down the road.
Down the road, and I guess so. It would be good in some ways, because these companies, like I said, are only focusing, those big ones like Ubisoft, EA, Activision, really are only focusing on 3 major games a year. And they're at least most of them are repeats. Well, actually, all of them, I would say, are repeat games for the most part. We just got one new one this year from Ubisoft,
right?
Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is rare. I mean, Ubisoft does
not
all
rare,
right,
the developer, but
sorry, not rare, but rare. So I could see that future, but again, it would make it so those companies either make more games, which would be great to see, which is something I'd like to see from them, better, new games. You wouldn't see what am I subscribing right now for Ubisoft, right? I'm going to subscribe to their service for one Assassin's Creed game. That's you play 1 month and that's it. That's my what I'm saying with these EAs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're big enough, or if they're willing to put in that purchasing power like these big studios like HBO or others that are doing it now. But I know PlayStation will. I know Nintendo will. But I don't know if those guys will, because I think they have already tried and they realized we're not getting enough people on this. We'll keep it up, but we don't have enough games for people to be interested in. So either their input of games needs to be better, which would be good for us as gamers, or they have to go to the PlayStation. Maybe Ubisoft will be like, I'm going to PlayStations, and EA will be like, okay, we're chilling with Xbox, and there you go.
Yeah.
But the second part of this question, dude, PlayStation's going to rock and roll this thing. They're going to be the HBO Max. They're going to probably have a shaky start, but once they go, they'll go. You know what I mean? Because they have the stuff, dude. They have the
content. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think that they want to go that direction now because, like, I mean, someone pays $15 or $10 and then plays all their exclusive stuff even for a year and plays through all those games.
Yeah.
They're spending way less money than buying those $70 titles. And so it's like, because they are exclusive and they are such heavy hitters, like they sell so well, is it worth it to them? Like, is it worth it? And so I don't know.
It's true. Well, and it's like Nintendo. Like, is Nintendo also willing to do that? Because they also are in that same boat where it's like, it's too big. Like, these games make so much money.
Yeah.
And PlayStation is up there. But I wonder, over the year, how many games do people buy? Like a normal gamer, regular.
I was gonna say you and I can't like be a part of that because like if I look internal, I'm like, if everybody was like me, shoot, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Check out my library of thousands of games.
Yeah.
But like normal people, like regular Joe out there, plumbing and all that stuff. That homeboy is probably what he's like buying one game.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 games a year.
Here's about the service, and and that's enough maybe for them to be like, okay, we're gonna get those guys, and that's what we're going for. But then you lose. But then you're right, you lose the gamers.
Like you get,
and I don't know how many there are. Yeah, so
I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
I could see them. I think if they might do it, if they opened up and were like Game Pass, the xCloud streaming stuff. Like, hey, on your Sony TV and on your microwave and on your all these different things, you can download the PlayStation Now app and you can stream all these games, because then that does open them up to a huge, like, I guess, consumer base, and so you would have the potential to get more people in. But I don't know.
Well, and like their highest selling game is not even close to a Nintendo property.
No.
It's like 10 million maybe.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I think it was like God of War or Spider-Man recently. And so for me, yes, and that's out of 100 million consoles. And their highest selling game
that's
is
crazy,
10 million
right?
Copies.
Doesn't that seem weird?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, only 10% of the people buy like that big title, that big game.
Yeah,
that seems weird.
Yeah, it's so if you can get the 100 million to just come on, you know what I mean?
It's true, and
not worry about those exclusives, because apparently the others don't. No one else who bought that console did, So who knows? That's what I'm wondering. Is Xbox is, I think, seeing something that the others might not be seeing, or they're a little timid to do.
Sure,
I think they're onto something. I
think they're onto something, but I think they're in a situation where they don't have the content, and they have to. I think this is just like, hey, we don't have the crap right now. This is a good start. We'll get people into it, because they said, what did they say? They have like some ridiculous number of subscribers to Game Pass. Like it's insane, and then you times that by whatever the $10-15 and like monthly, like that's insane money. And so I mean, maybe it does offset itself, and I don't know, it'd be cool to see. I would love for PlayStation to offer something similar, because I do really enjoy the service. I think for me and my kids, for us combined as like games we play together, we've saved a lot of money through Game Pass. So like that is really cool. A parent buys a PlayStation 5 for their kid and then buy a year of PlayStation Game Pass, and it's like, hey, here's your games. Okay, enjoy. Okay, don't ask me for games for a year.
Exactly. And that's like that's a big thing. So I would be totally down for PlayStation to do that.
Yep.
So if they do it, I think it would be a pretty smart move overall. I'm sure they're timid just like Nintendo will be. So but the future is coming, man. It is coming, and it's coming fast. Well, Trev, that is the weekly update. That is everything we got. This is Weekly Recharge, our wonderful video game show about PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all that good stuff. Not Nintendo, although we did speak a little bit about Nintendo. Can't help ourselves, Trev.
Yep, it's in our blood. You know what? Tribalism. It's real.
It's real, dude. So that's it for this week. Thank you, everyone. If you like the show, hit that subscribe button. A little thumb smashing would be great. Check out our other baby, the Nintendo Show. That thing's on YouTube, podcast service of your choice. You can also listen to this as a podcast as well, if you prefer that. So until next time, have an amazing week, and we will see you then. Bye.